As you settle into your bed tonight, your mind beginning its gentle transition from the busy day toward peaceful rest, take a moment to notice what's happening in the quiet theater of your consciousness. Perhaps memories from today drift through your awareness, a conversation, a moment of sunlight, the taste of your morning coffee. What you're experiencing right now is one of the most remarkable processes in the known universe. The human capacity to capture, store, and replay the experiences that make up a life. Tonight, we'll take a gentle journey through the landscapes of memory, exploring how your incredible mind transforms fleeting moments into lasting treasures, how it organizes the story of your life, and how it continues this miraculous work even as you sleep. But first, let's begin with this very moment. As you lie here, breathing slowly and feeling the weight of your body against the bed, your brain is performing an intricate dance of perception and potential remembering. Every sensation flowing through your awareness, the softness of your pillow, the temperature of the air, the sound of these words, is being processed by billions of neurons working in perfect harmony. In the theater of your mind right now, sensory information is streaming in through multiple channels. Your visual cortex processes the dim light in your room, while your auditory system transforms sound waves into meaningful patterns. Your skin registers temperature and texture, and even your sense of smell contributes subtle notes to this moment's symphony. Each of these sensations arrives as electrical impulses racing along neural pathways at speeds that would make lightning seem slow. This is where memories begin, not as recordings but as patterns of electrical activity flowing through the vast networks of your brain. Imagine millions of neurons lighting up like a constellation, each one contributing its small spark to the larger pattern that represents this moment. These neural pathways are like walking trails through a vast wilderness. Some are well-worn highways that your thoughts travel frequently, while others are barely visible paths waiting to be discovered. Your brain's working memory, that magical space where conscious experience unfolds, can hold on to about 7 pieces of information at once. Think of it as a small, warmly lit stage where the characters of your current experience perform their brief scenes. The feeling of your breath, the weight of the blanket, the gentle drift of drowsiness, and the words you're hearing right now all share this intimate space. But here's where the miracle truly begins. Your brain is constantly deciding which of these fleeting experiences deserve a more permanent home in your mind's vast library. Not everything that crosses the stage of working memory will earn a place in tomorrow's recollections. Your brain acts like a wise librarian, selecting which moments contain enough meaning, emotion, or novelty to warrant preservation. The hippocampus, nestled deep in your brain's temporal lobe, serves as the master curator of these experiences. As you rest here tonight, this seahorse-shaped structure is actively evaluating the day's events, determining which deserve to become part of your life's ongoing story. It's asking questions. Was this moment emotionally significant? Does it connect to something you already know? Will this experience be useful to remember? The transformation of a present moment into a lasting memory is like watching a Polaroid photograph slowly develop. What begins as electrical activity gradually becomes strengthened neural pathways through a process scientists call long-term potentiation. When neurons fire together repeatedly, they literally grow stronger connections to each other, creating physical changes in your brain's architecture. As you lie here, feeling the gentle pull of approaching sleep, consider the profound intimacy of this process. Your brain is not simply recording experiences like a video camera. Instead, it's actively constructing memories by weaving together sensory information, emotions, and existing knowledge into unique neural tapestries. Each memory becomes a personal creation, as individual as your fingerprint. The neurotransmitters in your brain, chemical messengers with names like dopamine, acetylcholine, and norepinephrine, act like invisible painters, adding emotional colors and levels of attention to your experiences. A moment of joy releases dopamine, making that experience more likely to be remembered vividly. A surge of adrenaline during surprise or fear tells your brain that this moment might be important for future survival. Tonight, as you rest in the peaceful transition between waking and sleeping, your brain continues this ancient work of memory formation. The comfortable weight of your blanket, the gradual slowing of your thoughts, the sense of safety in your familiar surroundings, all of these elements are being woven into the neural networks that tomorrow will allow you to remember this quiet moment of learning about memory itself. Your brain creates approximately 86 billion opportunities for memories to form, with each neuron capable of connecting to thousands of others. This creates a network so complex that it contains more possible connections than there are stars in the observable universe. And tonight, as you prepare for sleep, this magnificent network is preparing to do something even more remarkable than forming memories. It's getting ready to organize, strengthen, and integrate them into the larger story of who you are. Rest easy knowing that your mind is performing miracles in the quiet darkness, transforming fleeting moments into the lasting substance of consciousness itself. The architecture of memory, building our inner library. As your body settles deeper into relaxation and your breathing finds its natural, slower rhythm, let's explore the magnificent architecture your brain uses to build and organize the library of your life. While you rest here in the gentle darkness, millions of neural construction workers are busy strengthening the foundations of today's experiences, building them into structures that could last a lifetime. Imagine, if you will, that your brain is the most sophisticated library ever conceived, not built of stone and mortar, but of living neural pathways that grow, strengthen, and interconnect in patterns of breathtaking complexity. Unlike any earthly library, this one builds itself, organizing its vast collection not alphabetically or by subject, but according to the deeper logic of human experience, by emotion, meaning, and personal significance. The physical construction of a memory is one of biology's most elegant processes. When you experience something worth remembering, perhaps the taste of a perfect strawberry or the sound of a loved one's laughter, specific neurons begin to form new connections with each other. These connections, called synapses, are like tiny bridges, spanning the microscopic gaps between brain cells. Picture these synapses as delicate threads being woven into an enormous tapestry. Each thread connects one neuron to another, and as the experience is repeated or proves meaningful, these threads grow stronger and more numerous. The pattern that emerges, unique for each memory, becomes a neural pathway that your thoughts can travel again and again, each journey making the path clearer and more permanent. Your hippocampus, that remarkable seahorse-shaped curator deep in your temporal lobe, orchestrates this construction process with the wisdom of an ancient architect. It doesn't build memories in isolation, but creates them as part of interconnected networks. linking new experiences to existing knowledge and emotions. When you smell fresh bread baking, your hippocampus doesn't just file away bread smell, but connects it to memories of your grandmother's kitchen, feelings of comfort and home, and even abstract concepts of warmth and nourishment. The beauty of this system becomes even more apparent when we consider how different types of memories are constructed simultaneously, like multiple buildings rising on the same city block. As you learn to ride a bicycle as a child, your brain was actually building several different structures at once. Your procedural memory system was learning the physical skills, balance, pedaling, steering, encoding these abilities into your cerebellum and motor cortex, where they became automatic and enduring. At the same time, your episodic memory was capturing the story of that learning. The summer afternoon, your parents' encouraging voice, the triumphant moment when you realized you were riding alone. Meanwhile, your semantic memory was filing away facts about bicycles. They have two wheels, they require balance, they're a form of transportation. Three different types of memories, three different neural architectures, all constructed from the same experience. The process of memory consolidation, the transformation of fragile new memories into stable, lasting ones, happens primarily during the quiet hours when you sleep, much like tonight. As you lie here in peaceful rest, your brain enters into one of its most creative and organizational phases. During the deeper stages of sleep, your hippocampus begins a fascinating conversation with your neocortex, the brain's outer layer, where long-term memories eventually make their permanent home. This conversation happens through synchronized waves of neural activity, like a gentle rhythm pulsing through your brain. During these moments, the hippocampus replays the patterns of the day's experiences, transmitting them to various regions of the neocortex for long-term storage. It's as if your brain's master librarian is staying up late, carefully moving the day's most important documents from temporary storage to the permanent archives. What makes this process so remarkable is its selectivity and creativity. Your brain doesn't simply copy experiences. It extracts their essence, their meaning, their emotional significance. A memory of walking in the rain becomes not just a record of weather conditions, but a repository of feelings, perhaps peace, melancholy, or joy. The neural pathways that encode this memory connect sensory details to emotional centers, creating rich, multidimensional structures that can be triggered by a similar scent, sound, or feeling years later. The physical changes that occur during memory formation are profound. Neurons literally grow new branches called dendrites, extending their reach to form additional connections. Existing synapses become larger and more efficient at transmitting signals. Some connections are strengthened while others are pruned away, like a master gardener cultivating the most beautiful and meaningful paths through a neural garden. Your brain also employs remarkable redundancy in its memory architecture. Important experiences are encoded across multiple regions and through multiple pathways, ensuring that even if some neural structures are damaged, the essential elements of your most significant memories can endure. This distributed storage system means that a single memory, like your first day of school, isn't stored in one location, but exists as a pattern distributed across visual areas, emotional centers, language regions, and social processing networks. As you rest here tonight, feeling the gentle weight of drowsiness settling over your consciousness, take comfort in knowing that your brain is performing this ancient architectural work. The experiences that have shaped you today are being woven into the magnificent structure of your memory, joining the countless other moments that make up the unique library of your life. In the peaceful darkness of your bedroom, construction continues on the palace of your consciousness. Each memory, a room with its own character, connected to others by hallways of association and meaning that only you can fully navigate. The palace of remembrance, how we store our lives. As you sink deeper into the comfortable embrace of your bed, your mind naturally beginning its drift toward dreams, let's wander together through the magnificent palace of your long-term memory. This isn't a building you could ever visit in the physical world, yet it's the most familiar place you know, a vast, ever-expanding structure built from the accumulated moments of your entire life. In this palace of remembrance, architecture follows the logic of meaning rather than physical laws. Rooms connect not through hallways, but through threads of association, emotion, and significance. The smell of cinnamon might open a door directly from your current kitchen to your childhood Christmas mornings. A particular quality of afternoon light could instantly transport you from this moment to a conversation with a friend from years ago. This is your mind's natural way of organizing the countless experiences that make up a human life. Your brain has constructed this palace using principles far more sophisticated than any earthly architect could imagine. Rather than organizing memories by date or category, your neural networks group experiences by their emotional resonance, their personal significance, and their connections to your sense of identity. The most important rooms in your memory palace aren't necessarily those containing the most dramatic events, but those that feel most essentially you. Consider how your brain chooses which memories deserve the most elaborate rooms. A quiet conversation with your grandmother might occupy a vast, beautifully detailed space, while a crowded graduation ceremony might exist as just a small chamber. Your brain allocates neural real estate not based on objective importance, but on personal meaning. The memories that define who you are, that connect you to others, that taught you something fundamental about life, these receive the most careful construction and the strongest foundations. The hippocampus, your brain's master architect, doesn't just build individual memory rooms, it creates the intricate network of connections between them. These connections, formed through a process called pattern completion, allow a single trigger, a song, a scent, a phrase, to unlock entire networks of related experiences. When you hear your old school bell sound, it might simultaneously activate memories of specific teachers, the feeling of September mornings, the texture of new notebooks, and the social dynamics of your peer group. During sleep, particularly during the deep restorative stages you're approaching now, your brain engages in remarkable organizational activity. Think of these quiet hours as times when your neural librarians work through the night, moving experiences from temporary storage into their proper places within the vast architecture of long-term memory. This process, called systems consolidation, can take months or even years to complete. Your sleeping brain doesn't just file memories randomly. It integrates new experiences with existing knowledge, looking for patterns and connections that might not have been obvious during your waking hours. A conversation from today might suddenly connect with something you learned years ago, creating new insights that emerge in tomorrow's thoughts. This is why solutions to problems often appear after a good night's sleep. Your brain has been working in the quiet hours, building bridges between previously unconnected rooms in your memory palace. The emotional wings of your memory palace receive special attention during this nightly construction. The amygdala, your brain's emotional center, acts like a master craftsman, adding rich sensory details and emotional colorings to significant memories. Experiences touched by strong emotions, joy, fear, love, wonder, receive enhanced neural architecture, making them more vivid, more accessible, and more enduring. This is why you can remember exactly where you were during life-changing moments, while routine Tuesday afternoons fade into obscurity. Your memory palace also contains specialized chambers for different types of experiences. The procedural memory wing houses your learned skills: how to ride a bicycle, tie your shoes, or play a musical instrument. These memories, stored primarily in your cerebellum and motor cortex, become so deeply embedded that they feel automatic, like instincts. Once built, these neural pathways remain remarkably stable throughout your life. The episodic wing contains the story of your life, specific events, conversations, travels, and experiences that happened at particular times and places. These memories are rich with contextual details: the weather on your wedding day, the expression on your child's face during their first steps, the feeling of accomplishment after completing a challenging project. Each of these memories occupies its own unique room, furnished with sensory details and emotional significance. The semantic wing houses your knowledge about the world, facts, concepts, and general information that exists independently of specific experiences. Yet even these factual memories are connected to personal experiences, creating a uniquely individual understanding of the world. Your knowledge of Paris isn't just facts about a city. It's colored by movies you've seen, books you've read, people you've known who've been there, and perhaps your own visit. As you rest here in the peaceful transition towards sleep, your brain is actively maintaining and organizing this vast palace. Memories that haven't been accessed in years remain in storage, their neural pathways growing fainter but never completely disappearing. Other memories are strengthened through repeated access, their pathways becoming like well-traveled roads through the landscape of your mind. The most beautiful aspect of your memory palace is its living, breathing nature. Unlike a physical building, this structure continues to grow and evolve throughout your life. New experiences create new rooms, while existing memories can be modified each time they are accessed. This means your memory palace is never finished, never static. It's a dynamic, ever-changing reflection of who you are becoming. Tonight, as you prepare to dream, your brain will continue its careful work of construction and organization, building new connections and strengthening existing ones. In the morning, you'll wake up with a slightly different palace than you had today, expanded, refined, and more beautifully integrated than before. The art of recall, bringing memories back to life. As you lie here in the gentle darkness, feeling your thoughts begin to slow and your body settle into deeper relaxation, let's explore one of consciousness's most mysterious and beautiful processes, the art of remembering. Right now, as these words reach your awareness, your brain is performing an intricate dance of retrieval, bringing stored experiences back to life in the theater of your present moment. Memory recall is far more creative and mysterious than we often realize. When you remember something, you're not simply playing back a recording or retrieving a file from storage. Instead, You're actively reconstructing that experience, rebuilding it from scattered neural patterns distributed throughout your brain. It's as if you're gathering fragments of a broken vase and reassembling them into something whole. Yet, each time you perform this reconstruction, the result might be slightly different than before. Consider what happens when a memory suddenly appears in your consciousness unbidden. Perhaps the scent of jasmine on a warm evening instantly transports you to a conversation from years ago, complete with the feeling of summer air against your skin and the sound of distant traffic. This seemingly magical process begins with what neuroscientists call a retrieval cue. Jasmine's particular molecular signature reaching your olfactory receptors and triggering a cascade of neural activation. Your brain contains an invisible web of associations, connecting related experiences across time. When one element of a memory network is activated, it sends signals racing along neural pathways to awaken its connected memories. The scent of jasmine doesn't just trigger memories of jasmine, it activates an entire constellation of related experiences. Summer evenings, meaningful conversations, particular people, emotional states, and even abstract concepts like romance or nostalgia. The hippocampus, your brain's master navigator of memory, plays a crucial role in this reconstruction process. It acts like a conductor, orchestrating a symphony, sending signals to various brain regions to gather the different components of a memory. Visual details are retrieved from your visual cortex, emotional elements from your amygdala, language components from your left hemisphere, and sensory details from their respective processing areas. What makes this process so remarkable is its speed and efficiency. In the space of milliseconds, your brain can reconstruct complex, multisensory experiences from patterns of neural activity. Yet this reconstruction is never perfect. Each time you remember something, you're essentially creating it anew, influenced by your current emotional state, recent experiences, and the specific context in which you're remembering. This reconstructive nature of memory explains why your recollections can feel so vivid and certain, yet sometimes prove inaccurate when compared to objective records. Your brain fills in gaps with plausible details, influenced by your expectations and subsequent experiences. A childhood memory of a family vacation might include details from photographs you've seen or stories you've heard, seamlessly woven into what feels like direct recollection. The emotional context of remembering profoundly influences what you recall and how it feels. A memory retrieved while you're happy might emphasize different details than the same memory accessed during sadness. Your current emotional state acts like a colored filter, tinting the recollection with its particular hue. This is why the same event can feel completely different when remembered at different times in your life. Sometimes memories return to you with startling vividness and without any conscious effort on your part. These involuntary memories, often triggered by sensory experiences, can feel almost supernatural in their clarity and emotional power. The taste of a particular food might suddenly flood your consciousness with the memory of your grandmother's kitchen, complete with details you hadn't thought of in years. These spontaneous retrievals demonstrate the vast network of associations your brain maintains beneath the surface of conscious awareness. Your sleeping brain, which you're slowly approaching now, plays a fascinating role in memory retrieval. During dreams, your brain seems to be practicing the art of memory reconstruction, combining elements from recent and distant experiences in novel ways. This nighttime rehearsal might serve to strengthen important memories while allowing less significant ones to fade, helping to maintain the overall organization of your memory networks. The phenomenon of the tip of the tongue experience reveals something beautiful about how retrieval works. When you can almost remember something, feeling certain you know it but unable to access it fully, your brain is actually partially reconstructing the memory. You might remember associated details, the emotional feeling of the experience, or even the physical sensation of how the forgotten word would feel to say, while the specific information remains just out of reach. The retrieval strength of a memory depends partly on how often it's been accessed. Memories that are frequently recalled become easier to retrieve. Their neural pathways strengthen through repeated activation. This creates a natural selection process in your memory system. The experiences you think about most often become most accessible, while others fade into the background of consciousness. Yet, even seemingly forgotten memories aren't truly lost. They exist in your neural networks like sleeping giants, capable of awakening under the right circumstances. A particular combination of sensory triggers, emotional states, or contextual cues can suddenly bring long-dormant memories back to vivid life, suggesting that much more of your experience is preserved than you might imagine. As you rest here tonight, feeling the gentle pull of approaching dreams, your brain continues its subtle work of memory maintenance and organization. The experiences of today are being integrated with your existing memories, creating new patterns of association that will influence tomorrow's recollections. In the mysterious hours of sleep ahead, your mind will practice the ancient art of remembering, strengthening some pathways while allowing others to recede, preparing you to wake with a refined and reorganized palace of consciousness. The Garden of Memory. Forgetting, dreams, and the flowing mind. As you settle into the deepest comfort of your evening rest, feeling the gentle tug of approaching dreams, let's explore one of memory's most profound and peaceful truths, that forgetting is not a failure of your mind, but one of its most essential and beautiful functions. Your brain is not a vault meant to preserve everything forever, but a flowing river that carries forward what serves you while letting go of what no longer belongs. In the quiet of this moment, as your consciousness begins its nightly transformation, your brain is performing what might be called sacred editorial work. Like a wise gardener who knows that pruning creates more beautiful growth, your mind carefully tends the garden of memory, allowing some experiences to flourish while letting others fade into the rich compost of forgotten moments that nourishes your overall well-being. The process of forgetting is as complex and purposeful as remembering itself. Your brain employs multiple mechanisms to determine what should be preserved and what can be released. Neural pathways that aren't regularly traveled gradually weaken, their synaptic connections becoming less reliable until the memories they supported exist only as faint traces in your neural landscape. This isn't damage, it's elegant efficiency. Consider how overwhelming life would be if you remembered every mundane detail with equal clarity. Every conversation with a cashier, every television commercial, every trivial worry that once seemed important. Your remarkable brain protects you from this chaos by employing what scientists call adaptive forgetting. It selectively weakens the neural pathways that encode experiences deemed less relevant to your ongoing life story. Sleep, which you're gently approaching now, plays a crucial role in this editorial process. During the deep stages of sleep, your brain activates a remarkable cleansing system that literally washes away the molecular debris that accumulates during waking hours. This glymphatic system acts like a nightly cleaning crew, clearing away the metabolic waste products that interfere with optimal neural function. But sleep does far more than housekeeping. During REM sleep, your brain engages in what can only be described as creative memory work. The hippocampus and neocortex engage in complex dialogues, replaying and reorganizing the day's experiences. Some memories are strengthened and integrated more deeply into your long-term storage, while others are allowed to fade. This process isn't random. It follows the deep logic of what matters most for your psychological well-being and future adaptation. Dreams represent perhaps the most mysterious aspect of memory's creative work. As you dream tonight, your brain will combine elements from recent experiences with fragments from your distant past, creating novel scenarios that feel meaningful despite their impossible logic. These dream narratives might serve to process emotions, practice problem solving, or simply maintain the flexibility of your neural networks by exercising unusual combinations of memories. In dreams, the normal rules of memory retrieval are suspended. Past and present blend seamlessly. Impossible situations feel perfectly natural, and people from different periods of your life interact as if they've always known each other. This dream logic reveals something profound about the underlying nature of memory itself. It's fundamentally associative and creative rather than literal and reproductive. The flowing nature of memory extends beyond sleep into your waking experience as well. Every time you access a memory, you don't just retrieve it, you reconsolidate it, potentially altering it based on your current state of mind and the context in which you're remembering. This means your memories are living entities that evolve with you, changing subtly to reflect your growing understanding and shifting perspectives. False memories, rather than being errors in an otherwise perfect system, reveal the creative nature of memory itself. Your brain's tendency to fill in gaps with plausible details, to combine elements from different experiences, and to be influenced by suggestion demonstrates that memory is fundamentally a meaning-making process rather than a recording device. Your memories aren't just what happened, they're what happened as filtered through your unique consciousness. This understanding can bring profound peace. The anxiety many people feel about forgetting dissipates when we recognize that selective forgetting is actually a gift. Your brain's ability to let go of irrelevant details while preserving emotional essence and meaningful patterns allows you to maintain a coherent sense of self without being overwhelmed by information. As you age, your memory system continues to show remarkable wisdom in its priorities. While you might notice changes in your ability to quickly recall specific details or names, your brain often compensates by becoming more efficient at extracting the essential meaning from experiences. The forest becomes more important than the individual trees, relationships more significant than specific conversations, wisdom more valuable than raw information storage. The relationship between memory and identity reveals itself most clearly in these quiet moments of reflection. You are not just the sum of your memories, but the unique pattern they create together, a constellation of experiences, emotions, and meanings that exists nowhere else in the universe. Your personal history isn't just what you remember happening, it's how those remembered experiences have been woven together into the ongoing story of who you are. Tonight, as you prepare to surrender to sleep and dreams, trust in the ancient wisdom of your mind's natural rhythms. Your brain will continue its careful work of preserving what serves you while releasing what no longer belongs. In the mysterious hours ahead, your memories will dance together in new combinations, strengthening important connections while allowing others to fade into the peaceful background of consciousness. Rest deeply, knowing that your mind is a flowing river rather than a fixed container, always carrying you forward while honoring the past that made you who you are. In the gentle current of memory and forgetting, dreams and waking, you exist as a unique and unrepeatable pattern in the vast tapestry of human consciousness. The gift of memory is not perfect preservation, but perfect adaptation, the ability to learn, grow, and become while maintaining the precious thread of continuity that makes you unmistakably you.